Hey y'all, so today we're going to make some Easter pretzel rods. So for this project, you're going to want some Model Magic. I get it in the big tubs like this because it's actually fairly cheap. And it comes with like 4 of these packs inside of it. And I just, what I'm not using, I put in a airtight bag to keep it from drying out on me. And you can find this anywhere, Walmart, Michael's, like literally anywhere, Amazon. And you're going to want to get you off a big old chunk. I'm making 4, I think, today. And this, what you see in my hand, was enough to do all 4. Rods are about 7 inches long. I didn't measure mine like with the measuring tape. I just eyeballed it. But you're going to want to, of course, condition your clay. And then pull you off a little ball. And you're going to start rolling it out. Then just take you some scissors and snip one end of it. I don't really know how to describe it, but the end of the rods have like kind of like a flatter piece. And then you're going to take a toothpick and just stick it through the end that doesn't have the flat piece. It's the more rounded piece. And you're not really going to be able to see the toothpick hole like in the end, but just so that you have something to hold on to while we move to the next step in painting our pretzel rod. Go ahead and grab you a cup and a popsicle stick, and we are going to mix our paint. We're going to use a little bit of Harvest Orange and some Territorial Beige. And then once mixed, you're going to add you in some gloss Mod Podge. Make sure you use gloss because it's kind of got like a little shine versus, the matte Mod Podge. Give that a good mix. And then we're going to go like less than halfway down with this color. And make sure it's going, well, now that I'm doing voiceover, I did it wrong. Make sure you do it the brown towards the end that's got the flatter end than the rounded end. Because the rounded end, we're going to make a different color. So just make sure you do it on the flatter end than the rounded end with your brown. Moving on to the salt, I'm going to use Epsom salt that I picked up from the Dollar Tree. It is a little chunky, so put it in a little bag. And I just took the end of my scissors and like smushed it to make it a little smaller. And this is what we're going to use for our salt. I did go in with an additional layer of that brown paint because that's what's going to be used to hold our salt in place. And then my little lady wanted to help, so she is sprinkling on our salt. And you'll see in a minute, you can tell by my hands that like getting a little bit antsy. So needless to say, my pretzel rods ended up very, very salty. Now, I went back in with another layer of the Mod Podge, and because I wanted to really hold my salt down and in place. Honestly, next time I do this, I would probably do my paints, do two things of coverage with the paint, then go in with the Mod Podge again, and then do my salt. I wanted to have this extra layer of protection on top of my salt, but doing this step just ripped most of my salt off. So I think I would just, you already have Mod Podge in your paint, but then put another layer of Mod Podge on top of the paint once it dries, and then do the salt. Because this just ended up honestly making a big old mess, and I had to go back in and add more salt, and then there was some salt that ended up with the brown paint like in it. So I would probably just, once I got the salt on it, leave it as is. Okay, so next you want to grab you a cup and something to mix with. You are going to want your caulk. This is white caulking from Dollar Tree. And squirt you a bit down in your cup, if my cup, would be nice and stay put. Squirt you some down in your cup. And then you're going to take the color of your choice and put some of your acrylic paint into your caulk. Now, I like to mix my paint and my caulk before I add my Mod Podge, just to kind of help it mix better. You're going to want to mix this really well to make sure you don't get any like white streaking in it. And then use your gloss Mod Podge and mix that really well. Take your popsicle stick or whatever you want to use, a spatula, whatever you wish to use, and just start coating the white of your pretzel rod. Next, you're going to grab whatever it is you want to use to decorate with. I made these sprinkles myself, except for the bottom ones. I don't remember if I got those off Temu or what, but this is sand that I got from Dollar Tree. It's really fine, so I'm going to use this as kind of like a, like, you know how they have like the colored sugar or whatnot, or sprinkles, whatever you want to call it. And then just start decorating your pretzel rods, y'all. This can be a little time consuming, just because of like the drying in between. Once I get these decorated, I'm going to let these dry overnight before moving to my next step, because there is one more little touch that I would like to add to these. Grab you a sandwich bag and put the remainder of the caulking that you had. If you desire to do this, this is totally optional, obviously. And pour what's left of each color in each sandwich bag. Get it down into a corner, and then snip off the smallest, like, piece of your sandwich bag, because then we're going to use this to drizzle on our pretzels. So I'm going to use my foam clay. I think this is called Designs by Yanira. I can't remember how to say her name. I absolutely love her foam clay. And I'm going to cut out like a little chick a bunny, and some peeps to put on the bottom of my rods. Just to, give them a little more oomph, I thought it'd be cute. So I'm going to go with my smallest peep. And I use baby oil. I kind of get it on my hands and in my cookie cutters to keep the foam clay from sticking. A lot of times if you just kind of get just a very little bit on your hands, that honestly is just enough. But her clay is pretty wet, and so it'll stick to your cookie cutters. But I actually love the consistency of her foam clay. I've had some that's really dry, so I'd rather work with it being a little wetter than dry. So I love her consistency. Like, she has been my favorite that I have found so far to purchase from. So we're just going to roll that out just a little bit after conditioning it. Make sure you always condition your clay, especially your foam clay, air dry clay. Those will all get cracking if you don't. So we're just going to roll that out a bit. I'm going to struggle to open up my baby oil and get some in my cutter. Y'all know, like, if there's not a struggle on my tutorials, then it's not really Sam doing the tutorial. But it's fun. It's all fun. So then if you take your clay and just like stick it to the back of what's in your cookie cutter and like pull really quick, it'll help pull it out of your cutters. And so we're just going to continue on to do this. I did end up putting the yellow peep back up, and I changed that out for a different color because I wanted to incorporate all the colors that we have on our rod. So I didn't want to have like 2 yellow and then a blue and then a green and then a pink. So right now I'm rolling out the peep, but I did end up putting that back. So if your coloring's too bright, you can take white to any color to like calm it down. So my pink was really bright and didn't look pastel-y to match, all my other pastel colors. But I ended up just adding the light green into it instead of white, and it worked perfectly. Now I'm just going to go in with a Sharpie marker and make the eyes for my peeps. And then I will take them and super glue them onto my pretzel rods. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. And I hope you guys have a lovely night.